Chantal already deleted her post, but I guess Missimu wasn't done yet. Actually, you should credit BBJ and the many people who have 100 valid points about your awful behavior for swaying my view of you. People can make valid points and not be a bully. Did I say your marriage was fake? Nope. But you only see, hear, and analyze an outrage over what suits you. You neglected your pets. Period. End of story. The fairy tale with BBJ began with a catnapping covert operation. You could have insisted you met them at the vet's, you were BBJ's caregiver, and you put as much effort into investigating the people your home your cats to about as much as the effort you put into them. Minimal. What are the 3 characteristics of being a responsible pet owner? 10 ways to tell if you're a responsible pet owner. You invest in your pet's basic needs. You establish a routine with your pet. You take the time to properly train your pet. You enrich your pet's environment. You care about your pet's health. You schedule regular vet visits. You prepare for emergencies. Missy Moo's latest community post. And to end my night off, thank you to the eye-openers of this community. We may not like each other or even see eye to eye, but if you didn't post what you do, then no one would know past behaviors of controversial content creators. Make your own assumptions based on all the facts you possibly can, and always be true to your bottom lines. Boundaries are not bad. And yes, you told me, you warned me. Another set of community posts from Chantal. I am not giving negative weirdos attention anymore, but do you see how ridiculous and poor people are with their lives? Listen to this negativity so far. Like my new phone, you had money for a phone but not for BBJ. No! I had an appointment. I had a vet appointment the day after she was rehomed, but the scammers refused, remember? So they could milk it for money and views. What the heck does BBJ even have to do with this? The cat isn't even my care anymore, so can it already. Salah paid for it. He has a business, and in Kuwait, you have to earn a certain amount of money to even live here. He also cannot live here without a job. And since there is no poverty in Kuwait, my man is not a bum. Stay mad about it. She's only going to use her gym membership once. Why even be negative like this? I cannot wait to yet prove everyone wrong as usual. We are working on a video that will contain proof of everything that everyone lied and was wrong about. Just wait. He's using her money she sent him. But I thought I was broke. I thought my channel was dying and I am broke. So which one is it? Also, people say I only give him money on payday, right? So which is it? It's not payday yet, lol. All of your make-believe theories can't all be true at once as they contradict one another. Can someone put this into layman's terms for Curly? I really don't get how people don't get it through their heads that this man loves me. He loves me how I am. He spoils me. He provides. He's amazing. For anyone to think otherwise is shallow and ignorant, especially when the reaction community is all overweight. So are you saying that you also cannot get someone then? I'm sure you can. Download the dating app. Yalla! Another set of community posts. Chubby Use update. I miss them every day. When I was in Kuwait the first time I checked in every day, I video chatted regularly and had Pete's show me B's nails. They looked fine at the time, but it was a bit hard to see. If I'm guilty of anything, it's maybe ignorance. Apparently, elderly cats need their nails trimmed every 2 to 3 weeks because of how fast they grow. They also grow much coarser. I cut their nails before I left for Kuwait. BBJ was difficult to do because she hates it and screams when I try to do it. And no, not in pain because her nails were fine before I left for Kuwait. Believe whatever you want, but that's the truth. Sam's were still fine when I returned. He scratches things BBJ does not. This is common in older cats. I did not intentionally intend harm on her. I had a vet appointment to take care of it. She also has severe arthritis, which means much pain for a 21-year-old cat, but everyone is so upset that the possibility of humane euthanasia that you are willing to have BBJ suffer, even though your psychotic hero who has her now did this with her 2 pets. But okay, I wanted to take her to her regular vet and even told them the issue with the nails. And they never said it was an emergency and booked me at the next available time. Ever make a doctor appointment? Some people don't get in right away. She was probably limping because of the severe arthritis. Missy, I will not give you the attention you seek, clout chaser. Funny how one minute you are calling Salah and I family, and now because you want to be popular, we are just internet people? You lie and contradict yourself, and you are just the worst kind of person. Good riddance. Also, stop with the self righteous perfect pet owner BS because your chicken nugget looks like it has been brushed since the dark ages. Get that dog some milk. How do you go from condescending French fried over and over for being a human abuser, but then go and support her and call me an animal abuser? So you support a human abuser? Okay, got it. Do I feel bad when I noticed her nails when I got home? Of course I did. Could my home have been cleaner? Duh. It's called severe depression. Again, a little educating your judgmental selves would go a long way. Or maybe not. Lol. Anyway, this is the last I will address about the cat situation. I love my cats and I'm not an animal abuser and you will never label me as one. I also refuse to acknowledge this stupid fake outrage any longer. French fried acts as if having bad teeth and severe arthritis are common for a 21-year-old cat. Nah, what's uncommon is her living that long. It happens, but it's still past life expectancy while she was in my care. So you are all full of it and can go clutch your pearls as I refuse to give it more attention beyond this. But hey, she's got another vet appointment set up, I'm sure. Drag the old sick cat back to the vet for more torture for your selfish needs, sociopath. Anyway, have fun talking to yourselves regarding this matter. Enjoy the novel.
What is up, everyone? How's it going? How you having? You having a great day? Thank you all for joining. Appreciate it. Just having a good, grand old Sunday here in the Eastern Time Zone. Welcome to Goldwater Rule. And sorry to disappoint you. There's not going to be a ton of tea. I never said there was going to be tea. I just said I was going to talk to some people. That's it. So if you came for some like whacked out tea, it's probably not going to happen for you. All right. Appreciate all of you. There's like 200 people in the chat. Appreciate that. Dot, how's it going? Hermit Zifrog. Saga Sending, how's it going? Gladys Honey. We have Cynthia's in the house. For the love of Slipknot, how's it going? We have Bijou Bug, a bunch of people, Abracadabra, Delta Saves, how's it going? Rep from Bubble Tea, that's great. HH and Puppy Breath are in the chat. How's it going, Deborah Oliveri? All right. Now, there's not going to be cow tipping going on. There's not going to be a giant expose going on. That's not what this is about. I had a conversation with a few people. That's it. It's not going to be this huge, extraordinary kind of insight that maybe you had hoped, right? Which raises some interesting questions. A lot of what you see on the internet is very like insulated, right? It's insular. So when you're actually in girl world on YouTube, there's a lot of people just living their lives and having a grand old time in their own life, enjoying their own life. Not everyone, especially the neighbors, are going to be on the same page necessarily. They're not going to maybe know what in the heck you're talking about but that's why you ask a question, and so you have a conversation with them. I want to say hi there to a Tiny Ghost, to L. Good morning to you. Taliu's in the house. Hippieista says this is going to be epic. I don't know if it's going to be epic. It's just really a straightforward kind of undertaking. I mean, ever have a conversation with a neighbor? That's all that this kind of thing is. Little Lilith, how's it going? Lara is okay. Grateful Life is here. How you doing? Gladys, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. GW, you rock for doing this. All right. I just had a conversation like any of you would if you were happen to be in the same city as a person. That's all that this is. Deborah, how's it going? Bug Love, Sammy, Shami, how you doing? And Janie, all right. It is not as salacious as you're all thinking. No, I don't. It's not what's happening. All right. So anyway, hope you're all having a fantastic day here. Charlie, how's it going? Rocky, go about. How you doing? All right. I can't keep up with the chat right now anyway, so it's not going to happen. All right. So I did what I said I was going to do. I said I was going to maybe see if I could have a conversation with some neighbors. And I did just that. Just give me a second here. All right. So that's it. So, a lot of our conversations with a lot of the personalities we talk about online, we throw a lot of words out there, right? Antisocial, narcissism, that kind of thing. And, again, no one is diagnosing anybody. No one's a professional. I'm not a doctor. I just have a very strong interest in the subject matter and interest in personalities, right? It's very fascinating, as do all of you, whether you know it explicitly or not, whether you have the words for it, whether you have the labels, whether you love the personality, whether you don't love the personality, it doesn't matter. You're all free to think what you want and to make judgments of your own accord and talk about them. That's what you're allowed to do that. And I'm no different than that. I just have a little bit of extra information, and that's pretty much it. All right. Lung Babe says, Goldwater, you're a hero. You're on the right side of things, my friend. Don't let the wolves bother you. You have a right to freedom of expression, including art and journalism. Great to see you. Well, I hope I have a right to talk to people, right? And all of you in your communities, can you talk to somebody? Can you walk up to somebody and say hello and have a conversation? Right? That's kind of still, you're free to do that, right? Okay, good. I hope so, because no one's hiding behind a mask. No one's hiding behind a different name, right? No one's using a third party to intervene. As a person, I talk to other people. That's called being social. That's called being well-adjusted, all right? For any of you who think otherwise. Hey, Erie Pepperoni, how's it going? House of Hannibal's in the house. How's it going? All right, so I did have a chance to speak to the neighbors, and here's what we're going to show here on screen. All right, so this is a diagram here, just of the makeup of the house that I visited today, and so what you'll see here highlighted in number 2. Right, that's the person that shall not be named. That's the former residents. And of course, just as a preface to all of this, I just want to say, number 1, right, the person that shall not be named is a self-proclaimed public figure, right? Number 1. Number 2, this person has actually published their own information, their own address information. They've done this. They've done it several times. They've published it on Twitter. They've said it verbally on the internet on their own, voluntarily. All right. And number 3, I just want to say the person no longer lives there. All right. So why don't you, hopefully you can integrate all of those 3 things together and understand that you're talking, the premises that were visited here are no longer occupied by the person that we're talking about. All right. So it's very important for you to understand that. All right. So moving forward, I did have a chance to visit the premises today, and number 2 is where the person that shall not be named was residing. Okay, and the other 3, these are when you walk up the stairs, the 4 doors lead to something like this. All right, I just put this together on a bit of a Word document here. So what happens is that 1, 3, and 4 are occupied by the neighbors, and number 2 was the person that shall not be named, and that's it. So essentially, I knocked on the doors of number 1, 3, and 4. And had a conversation. It was not. That's all that it was. Just saying hello. I introduced myself, and that's pretty much it. And I asked them if they knew their neighbor. Pretty much. Do you know the person who recently moved out of here? That's all that it was. And so I want to tell you now. I'm not going to be saying anything about the neighbors in terms of who said what specifically. But I want to just tell you. So again, it's not so salacious as you might think. So all of the neighbors had no idea who the person was, who the personality was. All right. All of the neighbors had no idea who the personality was in the capacity of a YouTube personality. All right. So just get that straight. And so that's pretty much it. So none of them knew who the person was. All right. And 2 of the people had really had no idea of the goings on at all about anything. They had really nothing to say. So I knocked on one door, and the person said, they really had nothing to talk about. They have no idea what's going on with the neighbor who had just moved out, and that was it. I knocked on another door. I'm not telling you what doors or which order. And I spoke to another neighbor, and they have no idea who the person is, and that's pretty much it. Now, there was another person, one of the other neighbors, and they knew who I was talking about. All right. And also, I want to say none of the neighbors had anything negative to say about the personality. Okay. I just want to say none of the neighbors had anything negative to say. So again, if anyone's watching this, if the personality and the VIBs are watching this, this is none of them had anything negative to say. All right, it's called being objective, right? So I'm going to be free to report that to you. No one had anything at all negative to say. So that's kind of interesting, because look at the subtitle here. We're looking for residue, antisocial residue, from someone who we think might be maladjusted, no longer lives there. There are people who have been living there, and they might have some interesting observations or thing to say. How was their life affected? And there was no evidence at all that their life was affected unnecessarily. So again, none of them knew who the person was, who the personality was on YouTube. No one had anything bad to say. Only one person had something to say, and the person actually invited me into their home. All right, the person invited me into their home to talk, and so I spent like 10 minutes in talking with them, and they invited me in. So very, very interesting. And they were about to leave, so they invited me in. And let me see here. The only observation is they had to say that all of the stuff that we already know is that the person was getting tons of deliveries and all of the time at their door. But another interesting thing, that they knew the person had some cats. They knew the person had some cats. And they told me that, interestingly enough, it had been relatively quiet. However, the let me see, in the last month, there had been like a more of a flurry of activity. And so, and it was a little bit busier than normal. And in the last month, there had been SPCA stickers on the door. So this is interesting. So there were some SPCA stickers on the door, and which is, I guess, for the Society for the Prevention of the Cruelty to Animals. And they had noticed it. They couldn't avoid knowing that it was for something like that. What's interesting, though, I guess it would appear that the other person in the house, none of the people were there, I guess, when the SPCA came, because there were stickers on the actual door, notices on the door. All right, and that's it. So I guess that was, probably an effort by some of the people who are watching it to kind of, who are very concerned about the cats that were living there, and I guess they were getting constantly bombarded by phone calls and stuff like that. So that would speak to it. Now I know that the Humane Society did visit at some point in the 3 months. I think when we all saw that. I think it was still when she was still in Kuwait, and but they came and they did a review, and apparently everything seemed fine. So that's pretty much it. So and also what's happening is that the renovations are apparently already underway. There's some work being done in the place, and that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it. So like I said, I did speak to the neighbors. Like I said, none of them had anything bad to say. None of them who knew who she was in terms of being a YouTube personality. And only one of the neighbors invited me in, and they offered some information in terms of the aspects related to the SPCA. So that's all that really I have to report. There's no other tea greater than that. That's pretty much it. But it's kind of interesting. I was able to speak to the actual 3 neighbors there, and that's it. There was no greater insight because 2 of the 3 neighbors really didn't even notice. And the reason I put this diagram up here, it's because the makeup of the unit is that unit number 1 and number 4, they exist on the main level, and then they go downstairs. Number 2 and 3, they start on the base of the stairs, and everyone goes up. All right. So in terms of noise, it's actually probably, if you're hearing noise, if someone's doing karaoke or screaming or yelling or having breakdowns or having emotional outbursts, it's not actually, you're not going to probably hear it. And what's interesting, though, is actually there's another set of units on the left of this, which might have actually been able to hear the person's room, because on the left, you'll see if the person occupying the personality number 2, if they're on the leftmost side and they're yelling and screaming, you're not going to hear. If you're in unit number 3, you're probably not going to hear that. So that's pretty much it. So there you go. That's it. There is no tea. I just said I was going to talk to to try to talk to the neighbors like a regular person, to chat and see what's going on. Again, I just want to remind you that the person we're talking about is a self-described public figure. The person has published their own address, and the person no longer lives there. All right. So I spoke to them like anyone could actually do, and that's it. That's the minimal information that I got. So very interesting, and that's pretty much it. All right. So everyone, have a fantastic rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.